Rasmussen is a right-wing polling organization, and one of their recent polls may have backfired a little bit. So this says, it's from The Hill, Rasmussen poll, Americans give Fox News the fake news trophy. So Trump recently tweeted that we should have fake news trophy. We should have a fake news trophy, and it should go out to the fakest of fake news outlets. And he, of course, in his mind, it's like CNN or MSNBC or whatever. And he said, I think he said, like, let's exclude Fox News from the poll. Hilarious, because in his mind, he's just like, whoever likes Trump the most is obviously not fake news. Not fake news. What a simpleton, you know? They're for me, so not fake news. That has no bearing whatsoever on whether they're saying things that are true or false. You would need some sort of objective, measure of true or false in order to really do a fake news trophy. But he doesn't care. He's like, exclude that one because I like them, but all the other ones fake news. So when they actually ask people about this, 40% of respondents think Fox News should get the fake news trophy. So it's a plurality, and they're number one. The second place winner was CNN with 25%, MSNBC 9%, and then you have ABC, CBS, NBC, each receiving less than 5%. And even when you get into more specifics, I think this is really telling. 53% of Democrats and 42% of voters not affiliated with either major party say Fox News deserves it. But even 24% of Republicans say Fox News deserves the fake news trophy. And 65% of likely voters think fake news is a big problem. I think Fox is the worst. I think they're the most, and it's that their propaganda is so rank that they don't even bother with something like consistency. You know what I mean? Like, the best example is the recent, string of sexual assault allegations, sexual harassment, all that stuff. And what you find is that the Democrats, agree or disagree with whatever standard they're using here, they try to stick by the standard, and they're like, okay, Al Franken, we should do an investigation. And Nancy Pelosi said John Conyers should step down. So, like, they're trying to, okay, whether it's a Democrat, whether it's a Republican, we're gonna say we need accountability, we need to hold these people responsible, bring about justice. So, and you see that. It's not like, hey, people on the left are refusing to criticize Charlie Rose. No, everybody I've seen on the left has criticized Charlie Rose. So, you see the Democrats are willing to go after the Republicans, or, MSNBC, for example, is willing to go after the Republicans and the Democrats for the sexual assault stuff. But the Republicans are like, is it a Republican that's accused of the sexual assault stuff? Fake news. The Democrats are accused of it? Let's talk about Conyers and Franken for fucking 5 days straight and not say a word. Trump. Oh, who is it? Oh, Roy Moore? Hey, we don't want a Democrat to win in Alabama now, do we? I mean, what are you going to do? And then, hey, Roy Moore denies it. But, Franken's accused of a much lesser crime? Remember, Roy Moore, it's a 14-year-old girl trying to get him to touch his dick, and he's a pedophile. Whereas Al Franken, it's bad, but he was grabbing women's asses during photos. So, like, one is worse than the other, but Trump's like, Al Franken, fucking Alfred, look at Al Franken. But Roy Moore, let's vote for him. So they don't care about consistency. So that's why I think Fox News is the worst. It's like, they don't even bother with that because it's too much of an inconvenience for them. So it's like, I don't know, whatever, we'll just play for our team in a tribalistic way, not even bother any of the time with consistency. So I think Fox News is the worst, but I think the others are really bad too. I'm not like, there's a lot of, let's call them normie Democrats who would say, oh yeah, no, CNN is good, MSNBC is good. No, they're not. They're fucking terrible. So MSNBC is just the propaganda arm of the Democratic Party. That's all they are. So, like, every now and then, you'll have hosts do the right thing, and, like, Chris Hayes will talk about how, I don't know, we have to regulate Wall Street, or raise taxes on the rich, or whatever the case is. They don't want to cut Social Security and Medicare. But, like, for example, they get wrapped up in hysteria all the time. I mean, from day one, the worst interpretation of the Russia scandal, which is treason. He's Putin's puppet. Literally a Manchurian candidate is in the White House right now. Virtually every show pushes the worst version of that story. Totally uncritically. Look at Maddow. The Intercept did an analysis of Maddow like a month after the election. The majority of her coverage was the Russia stuff. Every other issue combined, taxes, healthcare, foreign policy, was less than the Russia stuff. Yes, there's fucking fake news in that. Of course there is. So MSNBC is bad. I guess CNN, of the outlets that were listed here, is the best, but they suck too, because they have what's called a neutrality bias, which means, and it's an establishment bias as well, which means they'll give you the propaganda of both the Democrats and the Republicans and then kind of let you decide which propaganda you believe more. But what they don't do is question the framework of the system. They would never talk about how, oh, we have legalized bribery in America and corporations and billionaires and PACs control the government, and that's why the the Congress has a 12% approval rating and they never do your bidding. They would never question the framework of the system. So they have a neutrality bias because they want to give both parties perspective, but they have an establishment bias because they would never go out of the realm of respectable discourse. So never go left of the Democratic Party, which is what you need to do in order to really be objective about what's going on. So I think they're all fake and they're all terrible. I think Fox News is the worst, though. And in my mind, I think print outlets actually do a fantastic job by and large. For the most part, print outlets do a great job. That's where I get all the information for this show. But it's not sexy. It's fucking words on a page, and you have to go look for it. It's not right in front of your eyes, and the things that blow up on mainstream media are shitty issues, whereas the things that are real issues kind of get brushed to the side in the corner of the internet in articles that very few people read where the real work is being done. So we try to take the actual important information and put it front and center for you. But yeah, I think most of mainstream media is fake news. Maybe with the exception of, I guess you could say and even this isn't totally true, but probably half the time or a little more, like PBS or NPR, they're doing a decent job. Some of the night, like 60 Minutes every now and then does a decent job. There are some that do a decent job, but the majority on the TV news, mainstream media landscape, it's just shitty sensationalism, establishment bias. On CNN, in CNN's case, neutrality bias. Fox News, Republican bias. MSNBC, Democratic Party bias. So yes, the 65% of voters that say fake news is a problem, you're 100% right. And I also think you're right that Fox News is the worst offender.